Alright, we are back for another Cities of Sigmar painting tutorial. And this time we're going to be painting Hammerhal Ghyra, or Hammerhal Ghyra. We're going to start the same way I started the last one, which was Settler's Gain. So we're going to start with Apothecary White. This is for that sort of cream color on this inner diamond. So we're going to put Apothecary White on it first. And then once that dries, we're going to put some Skeleton Horde over the top of it to give it that cream color. But while this is drying, we can go on to our next color, which is going to be the main body of the shield, and that's going to be Blood Angels Red. Give this a shake. Switch brushes. Make sure the brush is nice and wet. We'll just go in and put it in here. We want to be careful. This shield has one of these little purity seal things, so you just got to be careful of that. And of course, we want to be careful to not get it on our middle diamond we just painted there. In this case, if we get it on the metallic filigree up here, it's not as bad because it's going to be black, and that will cover over our Blood Angels Red. But it's a good habit to get into, being careful with contrast paint anyway, even if you don't need it in this exact situation. So I'll finish this color up. I will let the Apothecary White dry, and then I will come back and we'll add the Skeleton Horde. Alrighty, we are back. And I'm just going to let that Apothecary White dry a little bit more before I go on to it, but we have several other colors to do, so I'll do the Black Templar now. And last time I put this Black Templar over a speed paint, a metallic speed paint, and it didn't do so well. It's in the Misthaven video if you want to go check it out. But in this case, the filigree at the top of the shields for this city don't look like they're metallic to me. They just look like they're black. So for both those reasons, I will just be using Black Templar over the primer. This is primed in Wraithbone, by the way. All my shields are primed in Wraithbone. I think I probably forgot to say it in at least one of the videos prior to this. And in fact, my whole army will be primed in Wraithbone, so it's just a great primer. A little expensive for sure, but in my opinion, worth it. Just getting the edges of the filigree here. And the sides of these. Struts. I'm not sure whatever they are. And someone asked me, not on a video comment, but just in person, what I was going to do with all the shields when they're all different. And I think I'm just going to have a unit in my Misthaven army that is all mismatched shields. And I think that'll be fine. Alright, there's the black done. Now we're going to go on to the Skeleton Horde for this central diamond here. And I'm going to get my brush wet and keep it considerably wet. Just get a little bit of the water off and then get a tiny bit of Skeleton Horde on the end of my brush. And just come in. It's even a little, just not quite enough. There we go. We'll just go over this and get this nice sort of off-white cream color. Unfortunately, there's no off-white contrast paint, so this is kind of the best case scenario we have right now. You could do it with layer paint if you wanted, but for right now, this is what we got, and I think it looks fine. So now I'm going to go to Reichland Flush Shade, and that's just going to be for the little purity seal thing. This isn't on all of the shields, but it is on this one, so I will go ahead and do it. This is just a very light sort of reddish brown color. And I think that'll work for this. So I will let all of this dry, and we will come back and add our silver to all the rivets, and then it'll be time to do some weathering to the shield. Alright, we are back once again, and now we're going to use some polished silver, Speedpaint 2.0 metallic, for the rivets. Just being very careful that you don't let this run anywhere else. Just want to touch it to the tops of the rivets. And then these studs or bolts or screws or whatever they are on the side of the shield and the top of the shield will do the same thing. Okay. Just going to get this top rivet here. Not quite as silver as I like. There we go. All right. So then I'll let those dry, and then we'll come back and do the final weathering passes, and that shield will be done. Alrighty, so we are back, and we're going to go through 4 different colors here. So I'm going to show them all first, and then I'm just going to go through them. We're going to use Agrax Earthshade, first of all. Then we're going to use some Gut Rippa Flesh. Then some Striking Scorpion Green. And then potentially some Hexwraith Flame at the end, but I'm not 100% sure on that yet. We're going to start with Agrax, though. We're just going to put this on the wood. And I'm also going to put this on the black as well, just to give it a little tint towards brown. This is a city from Ghyran after all, so natural tones and natural colors would be expected. Their little blurb for them, design blurb, is fabrics showcase a range of warm earthy tones. Vine iconography is common across shield and fabric. Shields match Hammerhal Ghyra, but with mossy growths. So we don't have any cloth here, but I'll still stick to those earth tones, as they say. And then I'm going to just get a tiny bit of Agrax and hit these rivets right here. There we go. Now I'm going to go into the Gut Rippa Flesh, give it a good shake. So this is going to be our base layer for our moss and where we're going to have it. So I'm going to go on the bottom of this rivet there, maybe sort of the side of this rivet here, maybe a little tiny bit up here under that rivet, and then just down here at the bottom. Just kind of varying it. Some just collected at the bottom, some all the way up the bottom part of the shield. And just kind of letting it build up. This the Gut Rippa Flesh is pretty strong and pigment heavy for a contrast paint, and so it will cover over the red, surprisingly. All right, so there's the base of our moss. Now we're going to go to Striking Scorpion, which is got a little more oomph behind it. Not as pigment heavy though, so it wouldn't cover over the red as well on its own. So I'm just going to come down here. Just tiny little amounts, don't need a lot. Alright. And then I'm going to grab the Striking Scorpion. I mean, that was Striking Scorpion, sorry. Hexwraith Flame. And just touch it in a couple places. Just to pop it out a little bit more. Oh, too much there. And you can do, of course, as much or as little of this as you want, depending on how mossy you want it. A little too much green up here. I'm going to pull that back off. I'm actually going to go back to the first color, Gut Flesh, and bring this little bit of moss around to under the rivet as well. There we go. All right, so that will be our what is this? Hammerhal Ghyra or Hammerhal Ghyra shield done. Obviously, I have to add the transfer, which I will do off camera. But right about now, hopefully right about here, you should be seeing the final product rather, with the transfer and it all nice and dried. But yeah, if you liked the video, feel free to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and I will see you on the next one.